Carla Page, and welcome to my program. I am so honored to have my very special guest this week, who I really have such a heart for these ladies. We have we're kindred spirits, that's what I'll say we are, because we all are doing the same thing, and that's helping people. And we know our purpose, our plan, and our mission. We know it. We, without a shadow of a doubt, we know what we're here, put on this planet and this earth to do. So my guest this week for part two, is Suzanne Hagadorn, Program Manager, Kim Rodecker, Outreach Coordinator, and Carmen Rodriguez, Case Manager of the Cancer Services Program of Fulton, Montgomery, and Schenectady counties. Over 15 years, and they're located at St. Mary's Hospital in Amsterdam, right in Amsterdam, not far from us here, right in Amsterdam on Guy Park Avenue. So
we'll meet you wherever you need us to.
Oh, okay. You heard her. Right. So
we've been all over the place. You never know where you might catch up with someone.
So they don't have to go to Amsterdam.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I gotcha. All right now. Say that again, Suzanne.
We'll meet you wherever you need us to. If it's to sign a consent form, fill out documentation, whatever it might be, we'll help you out.
Yep, that's beautiful.
They don't have to come to our office.
And that's what people do. They like to know that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I see you do make it comfortable and easy for people, and even providing transportation and childcare too. Was that one?
If it's a barrier, we'll try to see
if it is. Okay.
There's several barriers, but the transportation one is what we find most.
That's the biggest.
So we were lucky enough to be able to start a transportation fund. So through the hospital, I started this crazy thing of selling these shirts with the St. Mary's logo on them, and we took part of the funds and put them in for transportation, and now it has snowballed over the years, so it's grown. I can't even tell you, every year more and more. So now people are fundraising and donations to us for this fund.
Okay.
So we're able to offer that when
Excellent.
they need to get to an appointment. Yeah.
So at the start of this show, let's give your phone number right in the beginning.
You got it. 518-841-3726. And when you call, there are options. So if you wanted to reach me, you pressed option 3, Kim's option 1, and Carmen's option 2. So we all have a different way of reaching us.
Yes. And then I can actually just say that these ladies here are just like, me saying in the beginning, this is our mission, our purpose, and our calling. I was speaking was that all right for me to speak for the three of you?
Of course.
Was that? Yeah. Because I feel that we're, like I said, we're all kindred spirits. That,
we're here for a reason.
For the people.
Carla, I do want to add about our phone number. Suzanne had said, leave us a message if you don't get one of us, but we will call you back, because sometimes people will leave a message and then they'll call maybe in an hour. Sometimes we're just out doing our thing. Sure. Sometimes we're there, but we're in trainings 2 hours. Yesterday we were in a training. You can't answer the phone, but we will call you back. Leave us a message.
That's a really good thought, Kim.
We've talked about that 100
People
times
called
before.
me 15 minutes later, and I'm like, I'm not in the office. I wish I could help you now, but please leave us a message, as Kim noted, and we will get back to you. And don't call and not leave a message, by the way, because then you say you couldn't get a hold of someone, and we would call you back if you left the message.
Sure.
So yeah, I've had that happen a lot. Yeah. Well, I couldn't reach you, but I'm there. Sorry.
Yeah, if you only speak Spanish, hit number 2. Carmen can answer you in Spanish.
Sure.
Okay, so make sure or leave a message in Spanish. I will call you back.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's good to know, because people do sometimes get anxious if they don't hear back from somebody.
Rightfully so.
Right.
Screening.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I understand.
Right. And with that being said, I would like everyone to know that Carmen is a certified medical interpreter. So she can go with you to appointments. She can make those phone calls because she has that knowledge. So, it's not just a family member that could go to an appointment and translate. She has the medical knowledge to help.
Okay.
Make sure you call
on
them.
that note, I'll start with you. All right.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. So we at the end of part 1, we were talking about the undocumented. Can you explain more about that and exactly what you do for people who are undocumented?
Well, when people are undocumented, there always has the fear to say it. But we don't asking for documentation, legal documentation to get a screen in with our program. We don't need any legal document for you to get into an appointment with us. So if you need to get a screen, don't feel fear. We are here for help you. Okay.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
I think that's an important factor. I don't know who, would be watching in that category, but maybe a friend or family member is. And we want you to know that we care about you as well. And those, that's the way we can get you screened. No one will know. We're not sharing your information. We want to help.
Sure.
And we have been able to help. We've helped, a handful of both undocumented men and women, within our 3 counties. So,
Excellent.
like Sue said, nobody knows. We know that's as far as it goes, and we don't judge. You're just another person.
Sure.
You know?
Yes. That's great. That's good to have that in someone's mind, and just anything to calm them down, to make the call. That's the thing. Make the call. You want to live a long time? Make the call. Everybody out there knows people who have had breast cancer. They've had colon cancer. They've had other forms of cancer, and they did not make it. But just think, if you can hop on that sooner than later. Hop on that and let them help you. That's all. It's easy. Let these ladies help you at the Cancer Services Program.
And it's free.
And it's FREE. Say that again.
It is free.
Say that in Spanish.
Es gratis.
And, with that being said, Carla, so the services that we do provide, we're talking breast services. So we provide a breast exam and a mammogram. So the first step would be getting a breast exam, making sure that there's no lumps or any change in your breast. And if you notice that kind of change, you should be calling us and we could get you in, very quickly if you're showing something like that. So when you go to the provider, your doctor's office, whomever it might be, they're going to do a breast exam on you. They're going to check for different areas to see if there's lumps in the breast. And if there's not, and if there are, you're then going to go on for a mammogram, maybe a diagnostic mammogram, we call it, with extra views of that location and possibly an ultrasound. So they would look a little bit more, a little bit deeper, make sure that everything's normal. But if it's just a normal breast exam and mammogram, you're good to go after that. And annually, we see our patients every year.
Okay.
So they can come every year.
And then how about the others? How about the colon and the...
Yep. So cervical, it's a pap test. They would do a pelvic exam first to see if they feel anything different inside your cervix, and then the pap test, which takes a sample of the cervix to check for cervical cancer. So that's a whole other piece that we provide if there's things found. We do have providers that could see you for whether it's called a colposcopy. A lot of people don't know what it is, but it's taking a sample of the cervix to make sure that it's not cancerous.
And then the colon.
And colonoscopy, colon cancer screening for our program is a at-home kit that you do on your own, and that's our baseline. So that would get, Carmen's got our little
Carmen
kit up
brought
there.
one.
So that would be that's our baseline test. But if it came back with blood in the stool, we would then put you into a colonoscopy. So straight up, you would go in, or if you have personal or family history, you may go right to colonoscopy as well. There's always stipulations. It's always case by case. So I want everyone to know that, we look at each of these individually and make sure that the person qualifies before we offer them a service.
I see. And then in that kit, you just read the directions and follow what it all says to do, Carmen.
And we also simplify the directions for the people to understand more easy the way that you need to get the test, and for me to be able to explain in the better way what is the fit kit, how to do. I did my own, and I can be able to educate the person if they need any extra details for how to do the test because
Okay.
I already made one of these tests for them to educate them and let them know how easy it is to get this test done. That is very effective. And then that would you get the results in about 2 weeks. And if everything is okay, you're good for 1 year. And if it's something coming up, we can set up an appointment for gastro consultation, and then the doctor will decide what the patient needs to get done.
I see.
And we have those instructions in Spanish as well, by the
Oh,
way.
good,
So Carmen did
good,
translate those in
good,
Spanish.
good.
We've talked with the state. I've just talked with them recently, and we're talking about how to make them a little more simplified for people who speak other languages as well. So I don't know that we'll get them in other languages, but at least if it's simplified with pictures, maybe people will be able to do it on
Sure.
their own as well. So.
Wow. See there, I just like the step-by-step process that you provide for people. There's no reason for someone not to just say, you know what, I want to live. I want to see my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, my children, my husband, and men, you know, your wives, so that you can stay around as well. Because we do care about the men, too. Don't think that they're not caring about you, because they do.
100%.
Yeah. They
And
do.
you know, when we say the wives, you know, we're all wives of husbands who are of age to get screened for colorectal cancer specifically. So, you know, we're the ones that kind of have to push them too. Don't you want to be here for your children? Don't
Yes,
you want to,
yes.
you know, be here for your grandchildren, whomever it might be. So sometimes that little bit of a push helps, or a provider helps. So if they go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, you're due for this, it's time for you to do it. And then some guys will go, okay. They don't want to listen to us, but okay. So at least, you know,
Yeah.
somebody's there guiding them and making sure they're getting
Making
screened as
sure.
well. So
I always love when you ladies come. I mean, I do. I love
we have
it.
lots of information.
We
We could
do.
talk for hours.
That's right.
Hours,
Yes.
not just 1 hour, but hours.
Good.
Part 3, part 4.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of information.
It
I think
is.
that's the big part of this, just what our program offers and just what reality is
That's
in
right,
getting
right, right.
screened. So if you're uninsured, you know, here we are to help you.
Yes.
If you have health insurance, you have health insurance. You should be getting screened no matter what.
Yes.
No questions asked. You
But,
know?
but people who are underinsured,
We can help too.
That's another
Correct.
thing I think.
Correct, yes.
So that you know that too. If
Yes,
you're
we'll
underinsured.
share that again, that if you're underinsured, that means you might have a high deductible, a copay, maybe something that your insurance just doesn't cover. We will evaluate that on a case by case to make sure that you are eligible. But I think that that's an important factor. Definitely.
I do
'Cause we do
too.
find a lot of the
Yes,
extra
yes.
views, the diagnostic ultrasounds. That's where we're finding they're not covering it. And especially, this is also a note, if your insurance company is from out of state, they do not have to utilize New York state law when it comes to their health insurance. So that's where we see a lot of that as well. So they could be from Kentucky, let's say, the main office for the business that they work for, and that's where their insurance is out of. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be equal here in New York state.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
All the
Find it a lot.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
Gee.
it's a lot.
So I was telling people in the community that I'm going to, I was having you 3 ladies on. So I do have some questions from the community. Can I ask you,
Sure.
the questions? Okay.
We'll do our best to answer.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Kim. Does anybody ever call you Kimmy?
Yes,
Oh,
we do.
I'm going to tell you, I was only ever called Kimmy as a child. Like my mom's friends called me Kimmy, and it's been a long time, but these girls call me Kimmy, and I let it go.
And I didn't know they called you Kimmy, but I'm feeling in my heart, Kimmy.
You can call me Kimmy.
Can I call you Kimmy?
You can call me a lot of things. Kimmy is one of them.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about the other ones.
So, Kimmy. So, my first question is from a lady here in Schenectady, and she wants to know, everyone says mammograms hurt. How do I prepare myself to have one taken?
Good question. They, depending on your breast size or breast tissue amount, I guess, they do. I mean, I've had a lot of them because I have family history. I think they're more uncomfortable than hurting, but again, I think it depends on your breast size. Just go in and get it done.
Take that deep breath. As
super
they
quick.
tell you to take a deep breath.
They do say
and
that.
you take that deep breath so you hold so they get the best image.
Right.
And actually, the deep breath helps with that
Right.
discomfort.
Right.
For me anyway. So I agree
And
with you.
it's kind of a little calming too when when you kind of get ready to do it. You're kind of just like, okay, in 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's over. I feel like it's fairly quick, but sometimes we get in our own heads about what it's going to be like. Like a colonoscopy. The prep is the worst part. You don't remember the actual colonoscopy part of it, but it's important. If you don't get your mammograms, what's your alternative? Cancer treatment is way worse than a 5 or 10 minute mammogram. So it's worth, that discomfort for a couple minutes, in my opinion.
And there's certain things that you shouldn't do prior, and coffee is one of them. So caffeine,
right.
you're better off not drinking a cup of coffee before you're going to go get your
Right.
mammogram. It's just, it just helps with that
Sure.
discomfort.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And shouldn't women be doing their own self exams?
Absolutely.
You want to tell them that? Because I know that when I go to have mine done, they are always saying, do you do it yourself too?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, everybody should be checking their breast, if not daily, at least once a week. And starting, I feel, younger, because we are finding breast cancers in some younger folks. We've had a handful
We're seeing
this
more and
year
more recently
in their
this
early,
year.
in their early
Wow.
30s. So it's important to really stay on top of it, do those breast exams, make sure you make your appointments.
Yes.
And to stress it again, if you don't have insurance, call us, because it's free and we'll get all that covered for you.
And the self breast exam is just for you to recognize your body. And
A change.
if you have any changes, you can find out that you have a change. And then that is when you call and make an appointment with your provider to see what is going on.
And lumps and nodules come in all sizes. So, and they can be close to your chest wall, or it can be forward in your chest. They can be tiny. They can be rounded. There's a lot of different ways that a lump could show itself in your breast. So I think that's an important part for you all to remember as well. It could be something little that you didn't realize was there.
And what might be there in July may not have been there in June. So it is important to stay on top of those self-breast exams as much as you can.
And how about, I'm just throwing this in myself, pain. If you have pain in the breast, that doesn't always mean you have breast cancer, because if you're having pain.
Right. It could be a hormonal thing, maybe. It could just be maybe you slept wrong. But I mean, pain is something that's not normal, that you wouldn't normally have. So it'd be a good idea to call your doctor.
Still,
and go in for
Have it
an
looked
exam.
at.
Yep,
Yes,
absolutely.
good. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I know
Skin
that.
changes is important, and when you get yourself screened, watch in the mirror. Look at your breast on the mirror to see if there are any changes. So anytime that you make your own exam, you watch in front of the mirror to see if your breast has any changes. And if you see something different, call your provider, call us, we can help you.
And I just wanted to add, a self-breast exam does not mean you shouldn't go to your doctor and get your breast exam. That's a big thing that people need to remember. It's not just about doing your own every month or every year. It's about going to your provider as well and getting that breast exam done. So we want to make sure it's professional as well. They might feel something different.
Yeah, okay. All right, I have one. Will you answer this one, Carmen, from the community?
Maybe.
Of course, yes.
Carmen still needs a cup of coffee. I'm just saying.
Carmen's like, okay. This is about pap smears, and a lady wanted to know how often. They've never had one. They don't know anything about it. But again, so much is hearsay, and they wanted to know. They asked me to ask, how often do I need a pap smear?
Okay. We need to start getting pap smears at age 21, right? And if you get a pap smear combined with an HPV test, and this test came out negative, you're good for 5 years.
And an HPV test is human papilloma virus. So we use a lot of acronyms, and just for people to know. That's not a complicated explanation of it, but that's what it means, just so people know.
They're talking more about that in the news.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
That's more popular. They're trying to focus on letting people get tested for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how I say, if the test came out negative and is combined with the human papilloma virus, you're good for 5 years, unless you start feeling any symptoms that you're worried about it, bleeding or any other symptoms. You need to call back us and letting us know what is going on, and so we call the provider and going by the provider's words.
I see.
Yeah, any changes. Again, it's cervical. So any changes you're feeling or Carmen noted bleeding, there could be things going on that we don't know about. So you really need to give us a call, and we can help you if you're uninsured or, help you get to your provider if you need us to. But we can help arrange those things too.
Well, it's something. Gee, okay, that's good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I have one here, Susan. Will you answer about menopausal women? Because they wanted to know. Oh, first of all, they said there's so many menopausal women out here now.
You're talking to one.
Two.
Two. Goes three. Three. Here, you got us at the table. We'll tell you exactly what that person wants to know.
Oh, Lord. That's a good one.
And by the way, they call me Susie, or at least Carmen does mostly.
Oh, Susie?
Susie
Yeah.
and Kimmy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Susie. Okay.
So funny.
I
Yeah.
should have pigtails when
Yeah. Oh, Susie.
And I grew up as a Susie, as Kim was
Oh.
noting, your family and friends and things like that when you're young call you Susie. I have friends that still call me that, so it's kind
Oh,
of
Susie.
funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, Susie. So, anyway, Susie. Menopausal women, do you work with them or help them or direct them, or what do you do for menopausal?
Well, if you're in menopause, you're doing the same things we're doing. We're talking about getting your mammogram. You need to get your breast exam. You need to have your pap test if you still have your ovaries and everything's intact, needless to say. Sometimes it's not. If you're in menopause, you may have had a hysterectomy. Who knows? So you definitely need to continue your screenings. Get your colonoscopy, do your at-home kit, whatever it might be. So nothing really changes. Got to do all the same stuff.
Okay. And I don't want to ask all of you this. It just came in my head that this is one on the sheet, but it used to be a time years ago, seems like women were getting hysterectomies so quick. It's like that was like what they needed to do, and that was what they were told to do. Isn't it a thing, or aren't women saving their organs more now? Is there a way of saving?
I think they're trying.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like people do rush to hysterectomy.
Yes.
But there are some doctors who are like, let's wait a little
That's
bit.
right.
We don't need to rush to it. But, it's not our forte anyway. But, I think you could be right that in the
Yes.
past it was
It
like
was.
an immediate thing.
Yes.
And I think they try to wait a little bit longer
Also,
now.
it depends on what is going on with your health.
With you.
Because if a woman has a lot of heavy bleedings and it came out with anemia, and then the person has to get any transfusion or any extra vitamin B infusions on their
Yes.
body, well, the doctor will saying, I think this is the best way for prevent these bleedings, and we need to do a hysterectomy.
Yeah, the option is, is
And then
there.
it also depends on family history as well. Like my own personal experience, my mom had breast cancer twice. So I got tested, and I carry the BRCA2 gene, which gives me a higher chance of having breast cancer than maybe Carmen. So I went to my doctor, and we did the whole, he gave me all the information on what would help me lessen my chance of having breast cancer. So having the hysterectomy was one of the options, as well as the mastectomy, which I just wasn't ready for at that time, and still not. But everybody's different, so it's depending on your, on your circumstance. But you still have to stay on top of your screenings, your mammograms. I have a colonoscopy once every 3 years. I have a mammogram yearly, and in between that, I have a breast MRI, which I so love to have. But it's important to still stay on top of those screenings, even if you have a hysterectomy, especially with the gene and the family history. So
Okay.
just get screened. That's all
That's-
we're saying. It doesn't
yeah.
matter who you are, get screened.
That's right. That's right. Because sometimes you hear about movie stars. I know, wasn't that, what was what was her name?
Angelina Jolie.
Yes,
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie. Isn't that what?
She was like the big
She did it
precipitator to all of that.
Yeah.
You know, she jumped right on it, and I think everybody thought they should jump right on the bandwagon too.
right.
So,
And that was
it's
good
your
for
choice.
her, right? And not for everybody, you
Right.
know.
Yes, I see. Wow. Okay, Carmen, will you take another? Okay.
Of course.
Yay! Yay!
Yes, of course.
So they wanted to find out emotional, mental, and psychological things that go on when when people do go through, if they were told that something's going on. How do you talk to someone with the emotional, the mental, and the psychological component of this to just be able to soothe them and just to let them know that
Right. So you're saying if somebody came through the program and let's say they had to go for a diagnostic and
Yes,
ultrasound.
yes.
And they're kind of like, well, what does that mean?
yeah.
Okay.
When they're coming over for any diagnostics, I always been there for them, especially when they don't know much about it, or if it's their first mammography and it came out a diagnostic. So
Or any of
people
the other
get-
tests even.
Yeah, they get so scared, they get very anxious, and sometimes it's the doctors just need to compare the first mammography with something else to see if everything looks normal.
Yes.
And they don't need to be scared, so I explained that to them. And if it coming as a biopsy, we don't know anything until we get results from pathology and the results for the biopsy. So sometimes a biopsy is just to find out if it's something benign, and then after that we just follow up every 6 months or ask the doctor give a recommendation.
And same with a pap test, same thing. So if something, shows up on that pap test, same thing. Carmen's there to say, hey, this is what's going to happen, guide them through the process to relieve that anxiety. And a lot of people do have it. And same with a colonoscopy. We're talking about, oh, God, I don't want one. Well, you don't even know you're having it pretty much. And, the prep being the most complicated part of it. Just drink lemon or white Gatorade, the frost. Mix it in your drink, you'll get through it, I swear. It's the one thing I live by. I get them every 3 years as well. So, and a personal story helps. So as Kim noted, she has some personal history. So that makes people a little bit relieved.
Yes.
I've had a couple biopsies. I've had an excision, on my breast excisional because I had something going on. So I share that story and it
Sure.
does help them relieve that anxiety of going through a biopsy. Listen, I was in your shoes. I know exactly what it was like. I can share that with you if you want me to. And hopefully, that might help a little bit because
Yes.
so you're having one. It's very unique when you go in for a biopsy or, a surgery, and you kind of need to really know. And Carmen really does a great
That's
job
beautiful. It
at
is.
relieving
Both
that.
Of you, both
yeah,
of you.
relieving that.
Give your phone number again, please.
518-841-3726. And there's a button for each of us. So 1, 2, 3, feel free to
Yeah.
press.
That's right. So we've got Susie, we have Kimmy, and we have Carmen.
This is great.
Yeah. So what I wanted to just do now to wind this up, because it's just about time for us to wind this up. I wanted to just find out about well, first of all, I want to say it may not be you sitting there that you right now needs to be tested, but you may know someone that may need to be tested. Encourage that person. It could be a family member. It could be your friend, your neighbor, your coworker. Encourage them, even if it's not you at this particular time. And you're going to be so glad that you reached out to help somebody else.
Share,
Really.
share,
Because share. And I know all of you have so many success stories, don't you? Success people who survived. When I sing, I always I sing "I Will Survive," and I'll yell out, "Hey, do we have any survivors in the room?" And it could be surviving anything. And people always raise their hands.
Right.
Yep.
The survivors.
Yep.
So I know all of you know people who are survivors. So family members, please support other people, support your loved ones, just support. it may not be you that's needing it right now, but support somebody else. Somebody else. So I want to say to you, Suzanne, before we wind up, I want you to brag on your coworkers right now. The way you worked with them, they're with them all the time. Your relationship with them. We'll start with Kim.
I'll brag on them all day long. We were at a training recently and they asked a question. I go, I can't do my job without either one of them. So, Kim does a great job doing outreach and the connection with the community and talking to the people no matter where she goes. She really has infiltrated our three counties in those communities with the people, talking to, churches and, as she noted, food pantries and all these different locations that aren't the norm. So that's a big part of it. She does a great job, backs me up, whatever I need. She's always there for me.
She's bicultural
She got my back.
woman.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Carmen as well. I can't say enough. After knowing her for 20 plus years, the person that she is and the way she helps people and, shares information, helps them. I hear her on the phone. Our offices are kind of sort of next to each other. And I hear her explaining things to people specifically so that they understand and they feel comfortable, and also in Spanish. So I kind of can pick up some of this stuff when she's on the phone. I know what some of the words are. So I hear her with the same compassion talking in Spanish. So that's really important that you guys know that, we're all here for you as well. They're the team, that I'm lucky to have. And, Carmen's here to help you with any language barriers that you might have. So that's important as well.
Wow, gee. It's lovely. And so how about you, Kim? Would you like to say about your tell us what you feel about working with Suzanne and Carmen?
Yeah, I mean, every day is it's just like hanging out with your girlfriends. It really is. It's not, Sue's our boss, but she never has to act like she's our boss. We know what our jobs are. We know what we have to do, and she gives us the freedom to do our jobs. And so it makes it easy. She does her stuff, we do our stuff.
Makes my life easy.
We do our things in the community and with the patients, and it's been great. I'm so glad I came to work with them because it's been a lot of fun.
Gee.
No, it really is. It's great.
Yes,
They're
wow.
great girls.
Carmen?
I love to work with these two women. We are a good team. We do what we love to do, help the community, be there for the community, and be there for each other too.
And we like to cook. So,
And I am the chef.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. You're the
Well, today I brought fresh lettuce out of my garden. So
Uh-oh.
when we go back, we're going to have salads today.
Wow. See, where's mine?
Well, if I thought of, But yes, great team. I can't say enough.
So we're just about to completely wind this up and be, we got to do part 3 and 4 at another time. Okay, are you all game for that?
course,
Game?
of course.
Yeah.
We'll think of topics that
Yes,
would
please
make
do.
sense, and questions, of course.
Yes.
We love the questions because we want to make sure that we're helping the people, helping all of you who need us, who need answers and information that you can share as well.
That's so true, so true. And if there's anything more that I can do, just don't leave me out. Don't leave me out.
Never.
We'll never
And
forget
I'm
you.
sure everyone knows already how Carla is, but as a community member and a supporter of our program, we can't ask for anything more. You've been so wonderful over the years. I've been here many times, and we can't do it without people like you as well.
Oh.
So we
She'll call us
appreciate
and
that.
say, "You girls, we haven't talked in a while. I need to have you on. It's this month coming up. Let's get the word
Yeah.
out there." So, we thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure.
And if you forget our number, give Carla a call.
That's
Check our
right.
Facebook page, our website. Go to anybody in the community here. Different churches, they all have our information, and
Sure.
get in touch with us.
One last time, 518-841-3726.
Please make the call. And I want to close with something that I have written here. And it is good to have someone to love you all the time. And it is good to have someone to love you at all times. And we love you. We really, really love you. Thanks for watching. See you next week.